6 o'clock, if you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. There we go.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our special meeting will be opened and we have a couple of vouchers to approve. One is the general voucher and the other one is the water fund voucher. I don't have that in front of me. Does anybody have that in front of them so they could read it? Okay,
I've got them both, Judy.
good.
Okay.
Would you read them, John, please?
Sure. So the voucher date 15 November 2021 for $2,601.98 total. And the voucher dated also 15 November for a total of $287.50. You want me to read the whole thing?
No, but just to specify, the general fund was the $2,000 one, correct?
That's correct. Sorry
Okay.
about that. Yes.
That's all right. And the water fund was the 200, whatever.
And $87.50, correct.
Yes. So do I hear a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept the vouchers.
Second? Do you
I
have a
second that.
all in favor signify by saying aye. Moved. Next one is the resolution 428. That was discussed before. Would anybody like to, and just so everybody knows, it is the increase, the 1% increase.
All
I'll
right.
make a motion to, excuse me, I'll read it. Ordinance Resolution 428, RCW 84.55.120. Whereas the Commissioners of Port of Allen have met and considered its budget for the calendar year 2022, and whereas the district actual levy amount from the previous year is $298,068.48, and whereas the population of the district is less than 10,000, and now therefore be it resolved that the governing body of the taxing district, that the increase of the regular property tax levy is hereby authorized for the levy to be collected in 2022 tax year. The amount of the increase over the actual levy amount from the previous year shall be $2,146.84, which is a percentage increase of 1% from the previous year. This increase is exclusive of additional revenue resulting from new construction improvements to the property newly constructed, wind turbine, solar, biomass, geothermal facilities, and any increase in value of the state assessed property, and any annexations that have occurred and refund made. Adopted 15th day of November 2021.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. So moved.
Yeah, I'd like to point out one thing there.
Yes,
We
please.
had a refund last year from construction or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was or something off of that 1%. This year, we had it last year.
Okay.
So just so everybody's aware.
Thanks for that clarification. Okay, we are going to close the special meeting and then open it for public hearing for the 2022 Port of Allen budget. Any comments? Who's BP?
I do not know.
Okay,
Chair,
would we,
I just, the only two comments that I received is from Ms. Van Busker, Mr. Carey. I think we both received
Yes,
So I don't know if we want to read their comments in or I say we reviewed them. Acknowledge them. So,
Yeah. I-
well, I printed out Ken's. I just got Jeff's, so I didn't have time to print it out. So if you want to, I mean, I could go ahead and read it just for the record. At least Ken's. Jeff had 2 points,
Yeah.
I think.
I'm gonna pull it up in an email. Carrie, so I had it. I don't know what I. Oh, all right.
Go ahead and read Ken's. I can clarify everything. Thank you for your opportunity to comment. I have a conflict Monday, won't be able to attend. First item, expenditure 546 10 10 000, payroll executive director 10 21 000, retirement executive director. Over 110,000 combined. Please reconsider reducing both amounts. Expenditures 54 10 10 0004 005 006, payroll for commissioners, stipends for meeting. I assume, why is budgeted amount for District 2 different? Considering eliminating unnecessary and inappropriate special meetings, business items that could be held at regular meetings. 46 10 41 005, with over 56,000 spent year to date and 25,000 budgeted for 2022. Please consider immediate settlement on all outstanding legal issues. Expenditure 54 546 2, mileage for travel, year-to-date amount and budgeted amount seems exorbitant. Who has been doing all the traveling during these days of Zoom meetings, and for what purpose? 594 46 60 004, Sweetwater work in area and pending Belfair EIS. Return any grant monies to granting agencies and remove placeholder for project. Respectively submitted, Ken Van Buskirk, Belfair. Okay,
Right.
find Jeff's.
Yeah, I did. All right. I was a little bit challenged there. Okay. Just to qualify, I spoke with Jeff Carey the other day, and he had some concerns, which is really part of what he sent an email on. So I'll just focus on that. Hi there, Larry. I'm sorry, but I'm not able to make tonight's special meeting. Please forward this email to the commission of tonight's meeting in reference to 2022 budget. Thank you. First, I discussed last week with Commissioner Sheridan the shortcomings I see with the Port 2022 budget. So for this email tonight, I will just summarize by stating that at least for the last 5 years, none of the ports adopted budgets that had a final year-end figure. Because of this, I cannot tell of any budget line item whether the same budget line item in 2022 should be higher or lower, because there is no 2020 year and figure. I have served on several budget committees over the last 24 years, but both at the county level and at charitable nonprofit level. And we always had one or more past year end figures for every line item in a budget. If this is not done, the commission will come to false conclusion what to do on any given budget line item. For example, the point was made in the last meeting that PUD 3 street light rates went up significantly in 2021. And reviewing 5 years of the past budgets, it really looks like to me that maybe over 5 years rates have gone up 15%, but I can't tell because there are no year-end numbers, just year-to-date numbers. Second, on the water budget matter, as a public utility, the port should have a capital facilities budget and a maintenance and operations budget. This was the commissioners and the public know. This way, the commissioners and the public know whether the ratepayers, the taxpayers are paying to operate the water system. It was because of this same type of budgeting that the port is currently doing that the county got financially sideways with the Allyn sewer systems utility. Thanks, Jeff Carey. So can I comment on that? Is it appropriate, Judy?
Sure, I think so.
Okay.
I'd like to comment as well.
Yeah,
Pardon?
so that my question was going to go to you, Larry, regarding particularly Well, both those issues, you want to speak to that? And then I'll ask my
Yeah.
question. You might answer it before I ask it.
Okay, as far as having a 2021 year-end budget, today is November 15th. How are we
Right.
going to have a year-end budget that ends on December 31st? This is the way that it was done previous to me. And I've just carried over what's always been done and
Right.
as far as maintenance and capital budget for the water system, we have maintenance in there. You know, if you look at it, you'll see that. So, you know, we've done that. Capital budget, we didn't put anything in there because we don't know if we're going to have any money for the well. We're still waiting to find out. I was
Right.
supposed to get the engineer's estimate today, but I did not. So I'm hoping to get it tomorrow.
Right.
But I didn't have any number to put in there. I mean, I could have took a wild guess, but I wouldn't.
And I
wanna
saw
have-
that. I saw you respond and explain that in your email. I did see
Yeah.
that.
You know, I
So,
wouldn't want you to codify a wild guess. So,
right. No, and that was fair. You're waiting. You're going to find out. And so the other oh shoot. So I'll be real specific. So I had the conversation with Jeff Carey regarding the end of the year, and I said the same thing. I said, well, we're not there yet. Then we'll have a number. So being a new commissioner, I would assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, at the end of the year, that full budget will show its full year, correct?
yeah,
Okay.
when we do the budget versus actual report for you in January, it'll show year end December.
Okay, I would think so.
You know,
I
the
mean,
number for the number in the budget versus actual, the number that shows budget and shows that, or shows actual, I mean, is the year end number.
so correct me if I'm wrong. We have last year's in there. I got to look at that closer. We have last
Yeah,
year's
We have
on the
year to
website.
date, we have year to date 2021, and we
Okay.
have what was budgeted in 2021. So we
All right.
know what we budgeted and we know what the difference is. You know,
Yeah.
those are in there.
All right, that's good. Okay, that answers my question. I guess we're waiting to see if any of them want to comment. I don't know.
Well, seeing none for public hearing,
Yeah,
we can go ahead and close the public hearing
okay.
and go back into the special meeting.
And there's nothing else on the agenda.
Okay,
So I
So-
would guess, you know, and it says on the agenda, no other business will be discussed. So I guess
So
you
can
can
I,
adjourn.
can I ask one more time? I asked that we put on the North Mason Salmon Review, if we could put it on for the next meeting.
This is just a special meeting for the budget, but what I can put it on for the December 1st or whatever day.
That'd
it
be
is
perfect.
meeting.
Yep, that'd
Okay.
be great.
All right, I'll do that. I need to
Did you have
talk to you about that anyway.
is there any other questions for Larry? Larry, did you want to read your narrative again, or that's online, is that correct, or?
I believe it is, yeah, but I'm happy to read it into the record if you want.
I don't
look-
think that, go ahead.
Oh,
Okay.
Whatever y'all want to do. So I read his narrative. I think it would be good for the record, actually, because it really explains. And there's be some folks out there that are going to look at this special meeting a few thousand times before the next one. So,
One thing
Okay.
I wanted to ask about in regard to Ken's comment was the mileage. Doesn't part of that mileage go for Travis?
Yeah,
Yeah. Seeing that.
and there's also a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of, but like we have to run down to Shelton to pick up the warrants.
Mhm.
You know, that's a once a month thing. That's, I forget, $22 a trip, you know, per round trip. If we have to go more than once, you know, it's the same thing. We did have the trip into small ports is in there, and that's a big item because of the distance, you know,
Correct.
from here to Leavenworth. So, and to address the question about why one commissioner district is budgeted higher than the other two, that's Judy's district, and it's a case of she
But I'm
goes to more
District
meetings.
1. I'm District 1.
Oh, well, whatever it is, whatever we did, it's your district is the higher
Oh,
one,
okay.
$1,000 higher. And that's because you go to more meetings. You go to North Mesa Community Voice, you go to the EDC, which is, you know, another trip to Shelton for mileage. And the other things that you do. So, you
Well, I
know.
have to add, I don't community voice to that, but
Oh,
it's the
okay.
Oyster House, you know, the Oyster House and of course EDC. And there was another one too. But anyway,
Yeah,
and I was on, last year I was on PRTPO.
PPO.
I'm not now though.
Okay, so the narrative. 2022 budget is somewhat leaner than recent years, and as usual, we budget quite conservatively on revenue and liberally on expenses. This is a philosophy that has served us well over the years. The only major new project we will embark on in 2022 will be the new well, as this is the highest priority project we have and may be the single most expensive one the port has ever undertaken. It's only prudent that we not spread ourselves too thin and negatively impact our cash flow as doing multiple projects in 2020 and carrying over it into 2021 did. The well project hasn't been listed in the capital budget as we're still waiting on the engineer's estimate to understand our costs, and we have yet to identify a funding source. Once we know those, we will present you with an amended capital budget. In looking at the 2022 budget, there are both good things and bad things that carry over from 2021. On the positive side, looking in the document under revenue, all the numbers in red are money we collected over and above what we budgeted for 2021. That's just a function of how Excel works when you deal with currency. You know, when there's difference, it makes it in red and puts it in parentheses. But in this case, it's positive. The item that stands out most is a timber trust, which is over $50,000 more than budgeted. But this is a revenue source that can't be depended upon to remain constant. For example, in 2019, we collected over $77,000, but in 2020, very little. So we've only budgeted $10,000. If we collect more, it's a windfall. If we collect less, we have enough in reserves to cover it. The second item is a $25,000 insurance settlement for business interruption due to the dock being destroyed that was initially denied when we filed it in 2020. But persistence in pursuing this has paid off. On the other hand, Endurus's bill this year was $27,632, so it's almost a wash, but it was $25,000 more than we anticipated. But the main standout items for revenue are moorage related in both locations where the pay stations have proven to be beneficial investments, especially when compared to pre-pay station honor system years. In total, not counting the timber trust or insurance settlement money, we collected $18,484.21 more than we budgeted. When the timber trust and insurance settlement are added in, the total's $93,484.21. Also in the cash carryover line, you will see $50,000. This will be the reimbursement from RCO, which we will receive before the end of this year. So overall, it wasn't a bad year for revenue. Also, I talked to, just as an aside, I talked to RCO this morning. I talked to her for about a half an hour. And what they've said about the issues that we have been dealing with them back and forth about, they said, just let the process play itself out and we'll make you whole. So I thought that was good news. Now for the bad news. Expenses are up, several of which were in unanticipated areas. The two standout areas are legal and utility costs. Payroll costs also increased a total of $1983.17. Some of that is us taking on sunshine. As you know, the litigation we're involved with has been quite expensive, but necessary to protect our assets. Between the general fund and the water fund, the year-to-date total for legal expenses is $73,708.95, plus what you approved tonight, another almost $3,000, which is 16,964.08 and 56,744.87 from the general and water funds respectively. Those are year-to-date totals with 2 months left to go. And as you can see, we budgeted significantly higher for this in 2022. The other surprise expense was utility costs. Electricity has gone up significantly. Plus, the signatories to an interlocal agreement with PUD3 signed a number of years ago were obligated to pay for the street lighting in Allyn on Highway 3. In the time I've been here, this is doubled in cost. Plus, 3 more lights were added that we were not notified of. I just received a copy of the interlocal agreement and we'll read through it and see what our options are. But it has another 3 years to run. Our total cost of increased electricity at all our facilities is $45.68.58 year-to-date over what we budgeted, which was based on last year with a 10% multiplier. Of that, those streetlights are $14.63.47 over the $2,600 we budgeted for 2021. It's also why we put an item on your agenda to increase what we charge for electricity at the marinas. That was on your agenda last meeting. Garbage was also up at all our facilities for a total cost of $556.65. We exceeded our budget for equipment and tools by $1823.61. This was due to having to buy a new lawn tractor, of which we recouped $300 from the surplus sale, and a new power washer. Other items of note, our gas are up year-to-date by $498.92, just like it's been everywhere else since the first of the year and for everyone else. Computer and IT support was up $653.81, primarily for dealing with that hack we had, keeping our older computers running and dealing with interfacing of the security cameras with our system, which still isn't working totally correctly. Cost of computer maintenance has dropped to almost nothing since we bought everyone new computers. And we're still $42.15.56 under what was budgeted for hardware and software. Software fees from vendors are rising as everyone has adopted software as a service business model, as opposed to the previous where you bought the software, installed it, and you owned it model. Those are the main difference in expenses, and we have enough revenue to make up the shortfalls. If it hadn't been for the amount of legal fees we have been burdened with, we would have been able to repay the majority of the money we borrowed from the IDD for the Ogren property purchase. So, questions?
None from me.
None
Either.
for me.
No, not from myself either.
Okay. Well, I don't hear anything else from anybody, so anything for the good of the order. No?
No, except our next Bellevue trip is December. Can you remind me, Larry? Or
Yeah, December 1st and 2nd or something.
okay, I may have a conflict, but I'll let Leanne know and you prior to the holiday next week. So
Okay, then we can
I'll email
cancel
you.
our.
Yeah, I'll
Cancel
email
your-
you. Yeah.
And
No.
I probably, I'll call Leanne or yourself, Larry, when I saw the, how shall I say it politely, the King County Public Health, woke requirement, I'm probably not gonna go.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I will be going, but it'll be short. Because I have an appointment on Friday, but okay.
all right.
Well,
One other thing, just so you all know, I will be gone next week. I'm gonna
Okay.
take 3 personal days, my 3 for the year. So, but. So
Okay.
I will be out of town until Monday.
All right. Well, thank
All right.
you. Well, do I see
Sunshine, you had
Shine?
something?
Yes.
I do need to get a hold of John's phone.
Oh, okay.
Cell phone.
The cell phone, John. We
Oh,
need to give it to
okay.
Sunshine. Yeah,
I'll bring it back in.
Okay.
great. Okay. I think that is it, unless anybody has anything else to add.
I'll make a
Meeting-
motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
You
too.
too.